What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a live discussion of Ready to Love, you guys. It has been a lot with this season of Ready to Love, and we are only 5 episodes in. But before we go ahead and jump into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I'm gonna need you guys to do me a huge solid favor and please, you guys, stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. And you guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing it. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump on in to Ready to Love, you guys, shall we? All right, you guys. So this, like I said, in this one, we're just gonna talk about pretty much, last night's episode, and we'll also talk about the drama that has happened with this cast. Why Dallas? I do not know. And let's go ahead. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Shayna, how you doing today? Were you on the panel last night? Cause I watched some of the panel, but I didn't see you there. So did you join them later? Cause I got to go back and rewatch them. Also, you guys, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, so it's Shayna, D Movie Man, and who else is it? The Bell Perspective, and I can't think of the other young lady's name. So they have a panel. They go live every Friday. They started last week, where they go live after the episode airs, and then they talk about the episode. So yeah, go check them out. I don't know where they were on Shayna channel last week, and then this week they were on D Movie Man's channel. So I don't know where they're going to end up next week. I got to go back and catch the live. But yeah, you guys definitely go check them out. But Ready to Love, Dallas, 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 baby, y'all are showing out here in Dallas. And like I said, we're gonna talk about the drama that's happened later. But first, we're gonna talk about the episode before we just even jump into it. So this episode last night, I will say by the end of it, I wasn't the happiest with the outcome. Tell me what you guys thought about last night's episode. Did you guys what did you think about it? Did you guys think they sent the right person home, or do you think they sent the wrong person home? Because me personally, when they opened up the episode and they sent Red home, I was okay with that. I called them on last week that Red would be the one that would go home. So I'm cool with Red going home. But the final elimination, I wasn't too happy with it. Shane, I said I missed it yesterday. I'll be back next week talking about this Ready to Love drama in my channel tonight because woo, yeah, I saw that you have a live schedule for tonight for Ready to Love. I think it's at 9 o'clock my time, so I'm gonna try to join it. If not, I will definitely catch the playback for you. But I definitely will come in and just give my like and leave my comment. But yeah, the drama for this cast is hilarious. But yeah, so this episode, remember last week's episode left with a cliffhanger where we were still trying to decide. We were trying to figure out if Red was going home or if Marvin was going home. Speaking of Red, let's just talk about Red really, really quick because I'm on Twitter right now. So I'm not gonna put any of the stuff up on my screen. I'm just gonna talk about it, and then I'll link it in like the stuff that I'm talking about. I'll link it in the live. But let's talk about it. So Red, y'all remember? So Unique called his job a thought job, right? And this man has literally went and made a thought job shirt, well, a sweatshirt, and the J on thought job. I don't know who did this for him and why they did it for him, but I want them to give this man his money back, right? And I also want him to just let it go because, like, sir, why are we? He's capitalizing off of that. Janelle has capitalized off of the Mean Girl thing, and I was just like, okay, I guess get your 15 minutes while you can, right? I ain't hating on it, but I just think it's a little odd that y'all are selling merch when we don't really know y'all, that we are only again 5 episodes in and we don't really know y'all like that. But hey, if that's what they want to do, who am I to say boo, cat, dog, anything of the sorts, right? So I ain't got no dog in that fight. So like I said, so back to what I was saying. Red ended up going home, and I'm cool with that. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Do you guys think that Red was the right choice to go, or do you guys think that Marvin should have went? I know last week in my comment section, a lot of people felt like it would have been Marvin who was going home this week. But I kind of put two and two together. I'm like, it's not going to be Marvin. I knew it wasn't Marvin. I had a strength. I was like, I feel like it's going to be Mr. Red. And thankfully, it was Mr. Red, who nobody knows. I noticed that in the comment section all last week, in the comment section, in the comment section of mine, and on Twitter, nobody knew who the fuck Red was. Like, not nobody knew who Red was here in Dallas. So, yeah, sir, I don't think you're, in the words of Candy, you ain't worldwide. Now, these are not Candy's words, but you're not worldwide, sir. So, yeah, have fun with that. So, Shayna says, not only do we not know them or care, but why would we walk around wearing shirts with these awful sayings? LOL. Exactly. I don't know anybody who would want to walk. And this is no shade to Janelle because I know she saw my tweets last week and she did not like what I said about her boots. Baby, she tweeted me and then she quote retweeted me about them boots. Janelle, it wasn't that deep, my love. It really wasn't that deep. I just couldn't see your whole outfit because I was watching last week's. I watched something when I'm watching Ready to Love most times. I'm watching it on my phone, and then there are sometimes I'll come back home and I'll watch it on my television because when I'm watching when Ready to Love comes on, I'm typically out to eat, so I don't always see. I'm not always watching the full episode. Well, I'm watching the full episode, but I'm not watching it on my TV. I'm just literally watching it on my phone. So yeah, but yeah, I agree with you, Shayna. Don't nobody want to walk around with them weird sayings, mean girl, and then someone walking around with a shirt that says thought job. Yeah. Good luck to them. No shade to them. Good luck to them. I wish them all the best in their future endeavors with these merchandise. But for me personally, I won't be buying it, right? So in this episode, Tommy tells the ladies that the power to eliminate is now with the men, and that he tells them that he wants for them to go and sit, go and think about what their non-negotiables are, right? And then set up some dates with these women. So the first date that we got was a very interesting one. And this date involved Janelle and Katarina, as well as Quentin and Herbert, right? And I thought it was so interesting to see a date with Janelle and Katarina, considering all that happened with them last Sunday. And like I said, you guys, we'll talk about that in just a little bit when we get down to it. I'm gonna do the episode first, and then we'll talk about the drama that happened, right? So now here's the thing I will say: when Katarina got there, she went to hug Janelle, and Janelle hugged her, right? But Janelle did do something that kind of threw me for a loop in this scene. Now, before Katarina got there, she was talking to Herbert about the fact that she texts Herbert and Herbert doesn't respond back to her, right? And so he didn't really have a good answer for that at the time. So then when Katarina joined, he asked her, what she been up to, right? She said she's been working and working out, right? He said, I can see. And Janelle was like, is that what you can see? I was like, Janelle kind of seemed like a little bit of jealousy is showing because he just complimented the woman. Like it's not he didn't say anything like, oh girl, yeah, your ass is popping. Oh, I can see I can see this, I can see that. It didn't come off that way, right? So they were playing pickleball. So they talked about what their non-negotiables were. And honestly, their non-negotiables are not bad. So Janelle's non-negotiable is she doesn't want to be with anyone who's not ambitious. And I was like, that's actually a really good thing because you don't want to, and that goes for men and women, right? You don't want to be with a lazy bum. You don't want to be with somebody who has no drive, no hustle, no determination, right? You want to be with someone who is a go-getter, who gets to it, who doesn't let things get in their way. And I like that from Janelle. And then Herbert's non-negotiable was about having kids, right? And that's not the last time we're going to hear anybody say that their non-negotiables is kids, which I'm okay with that too, right? And then Quentin, he said his non-negotiable is emotional intelligence, and I was like, oh wow, now that is a really good one because I mean, you can look, and when you think about it, you can look good, you can box it up, and it can look really, really pretty on the outside, but then when you break that box down and take that wrapping off, it could be the ugliest thing and it could be the dumbest thing. So I was like, you know what? I like that. Emotional intelligence. I like that. You want to be with somebody who is emotionally intelligent, like emotionally, physical, just intelligent in general. But I like the emotional intelligence part, right? Now, I don't remember if Katarina said what her non negotiables are. You guys can definitely tell me in the comment section or the live if she did say. I just don't 100% remember what she said. But yeah, I like that. So at one point, we see Janelle and Herbert. So they were talking, right? So Janelle once again is talking about the fact that he didn't text her. So she asked him, like, "Are you interested in me?" And he said, "It's not that." He was saying that what it is he doesn't really entertain more than one woman. And I was like, well, that's not necessarily a bad thing that you don't entertain more than one woman. But with this process, that's what you kind of have to do. You have to entertain more than one woman. And that's how you figure out who is for you and who isn't for you. And so for you to just completely kind of ignore Janelle, I get where she's coming from. It would be it would be like, damn, like I really like you and you're my quote unquote number one. But when I reach out to you, you don't necessarily respond to me. So honestly, I get where Janelle is coming from, and I don't feel any type of way about that. And then after that, he said he was nonchalant. Then the whole nonchalant comment, it kind of threw me off because now I'm a nonchalant person, right? But when it comes to me being nonchalant, it's literally you'll get that nonchalant side of me when you're talking to me about something that either my opinion is not going to change on or something that I just don't think is that serious or that deep. That's when you're going to get that nonchalant side of me. But for the most part, you'll see me being very, someone that's very caring. But if it's something that I don't care, if it's something that I just don't want to put my energy into, let me specify that. If it's something that I don't want to put energy into, then you're gonna get the nonchalant side of me. I'm just gonna be like, okay, what we doing now? That's what you're gonna get from me. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that answer from him about being nonchalant. You can be nonchalant, but if you are in fact interested in Janelle, put forth the effort. That's all I gotta say. So then the next date we see is with Chris. So Chris had Aries come over to his home and he's hired a private chef. And I was like, okay, Chris. Oh God, you guys, there's so we'll talk about it when we get to it, but there's a lot of things that Janelle said in her Instagram stories that I want to address. And like I said, we'll get to it in just a little bit. But he was talking to Aries. So, they were talking about what their non-negotiables are. And collectively, they both have non-negotiables with their children. So Chris has a daughter that's 11 years old, and not Janelle, but Aries has her sons who are 13 and 11 years old, right? Now, like I said in my video, if you guys have watched it, when people were talking, I saw people talking about Aries on social media about the fact that, so, people talking about, oh, so she don't cook for her kids. Her kids are in the double digits. By the time I was 11, 12, and 13, I knew how to fix my own food. My mom would still cook for me at times, but by that time, I knew how to get in the kitchen if I was hungry. I know how to fix myself breakfast. I knew how to make myself lunch and dinner. Did I put, so for people to say, her kids are too young, they're not. If she's teaching her, if she's instilling things into her children, they are, relying upon themselves and self-sufficient by that age. So I didn't have a problem with her talking about her, her boys. So we also find out that with Aries, that she's the one that pursued the divorce with her ex-husband. And I was like, and he didn't necessarily want the divorce, but I guess he eventually came around to it, right? And it's very interesting because I do wonder, like, what happened in the and it's not something that we need to be privy to, but it is very interesting. You wonder, like, what happened in the marriage that it came to that point where you guys divorced. Like, very, very interesting. And then Chris, somebody's downstairs. That damn, he at the pool already. Chris. So he was talking, and he was talking about his mom and his dad, how they're both deceased, and my heartfelt empathy goes out to Chris because you guys know my mom passed away in 2017, so I definitely know what he's dealing with and what that pain is, right? I love that portrait of his mom. Like you guys know, I have a portrait of mine. I love that portrait of his mother. So that's really all we had with those two. What I will say is I don't really see a connection between Chris and Aries. If anything, I see maybe two really good friends there, but outside of a romantic situation, I don't see it. Let me know what you guys think. So the next date we have is Marvin and Unique. So we see Marvin and Unique. So they went horseback riding, right? And they also had a little bit of a picnic. I will say with Unique, it's kind of interesting when you think about Unique and the fact that she called Red's job a thought job. And I'm not judging anybody's profession, right? But I just thought it's interesting that you called his job a thought job, but you're literally have a connection with Marvin, who is an erotic author. And again, not passing any judgment, but it kind of looks contradictory, hypocritical, because someone could consider what Marvin does thought behavior. And especially when he talks about what he's into, his kinks, somebody can consider that what he's doing a thought job. But again, like I said, there's absolutely no judgment coming from me. I just think it's a little interesting. But also, let's be real with each other. When it comes down to Red, I didn't really care, so it didn't bother me too much. But I just think it is a little interesting when you just put it all out there, right? So they talked about what their non-negotiables are, and I know his non-negotiable is he wants more children, right? And specifically, he wants a son. And there's nothing wrong with him wanting to have a son, but if you go the traditional route of the bang bang boogie, you run a crapshoot with getting a boy, right? It's 50-50. You could get a girl or you can get a boy. He did say two, right? So that just limits your odds unless you're going to go the route where you go through in vitro and they can pick out a boy and the girls, right? But when they make the embryos, and that costs a lot of money, so I don't know that he wants to go that route. And for him to say that his non-negotiable is that having a son, that just kind of seems a little extreme to me. That you say my non-negotiable is having a son. That's not something you or the woman can control. And like I said, unless you guys get in a control area where you go through the process of in vitro fertilization and they can do that for you. But again, that costs lots of money. So I don't know that he wants to do that. So you may just have to take what the good Lord provides you with. And if it's more girls, then that's just what it is. And here's the question that I pose with that. If you say you want two more kids, what if the next two kids you get are girls? Are you going to leave that woman that you had these kids with to raise these daughters by herself? Because that to me would have raised a lot of questions and it would have been like a big glaring red flag for me personally. But you guys tell me what you think and we'll move forward, you guys. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting that he brought up the fact that he wants two more kids, but he wants to have a son, and he won't budge on a son. Very interesting. So the next day we got you guys is Mario. So Mario, Herbert, Chris, they are all dating with Jessica, Sierra, and Kira. So they're going to an improv class. Now, I did say in my review that the improv class for me, it was just a little on the odd side, but I will say I did like it, you know, compared to what we typically get because this is the fifth episode. Because you guys know, by this point, we done had at least 5 or 6 workout dates, so it's not a workout day, and I'm happy about that. So we see them as they pair up, right? So Jessica and Chris were a pair, and then Mario and Kira were a pair, as well as Sierra and Herbert, right? So Chris and Jessica went first, and their what they were doing improv of was what happens after a car accident. And this is why I say it was weird, because I just didn't understand what I mean. It was just so awkward, right? But they talked about their non-negotiables. So Chris's non-negotiables, what was his? His non-negotiable was something pretty cool, similar. It's similar to what everybody else is saying. His is having someone who can find a resolution. And I was like, okay, I'm with that, because you don't want to be with someone who they can't find conflict. They don't have conflict resolution skills, because that means that they don't have conflict resolution skills. They're just an argumentative person, and that's not what you will want. So I was cool with that, right? And then Jessica's non-negotiable was, um, now I'm paraphrasing, but her non-negotiable, I feel like it's her wanting to have someone in her life that she knows is for her and that will be there in time of need, right? That'll be there to support her, take, do for her, not financially, but just someone who will be able to support her. And I was like, okay, I'm cool with that, right? So then Sierra and Herbert went next, right? And so their improv was, I guess they had just left dinner at his parents' house, and it was funny and it was cute. So Sierra's non-negotiable is also having children, right? And she wants kids like right now. And I feel like with Sierra, if you want kids right now, your best bet is to get on over there with Mr. Marvin, because he wants kids right now too, right? I just hope that you can produce a son for him, right? So Herbert's non-negotiable is kids as well, right? But for him, he wants to be in a space where he can take care of the kids emotionally, physically, and financially. And I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing but respect for that. Like, I like that. That he said that, he wants to be in a position where he can take care of his kids emotionally, physically, and financially. And so where we at? So yeah, next up was Mario and what's her name? Kira. So by this point, I'm realizing that I'm not a big fan of Kira. I mean, I ain't been a big fan of her before, but I'm really not a fan of her at this point, right? So I forgot what theirs was, but her non-negotiable is she wants a God-fearing man. And I'm not judging that by no means. So his non-negotiable was someone that is health conscious. And the look that Kira gave him, I was like, you was at least we were both thinking it. And I don't need nobody saying, well, JB, he could be healthy. Not everybody, who is small is healthy. I know you guys, I know. Not every skinny person is healthy. Not every big person is unhealthy, right? So I know that. So we don't have to say that. But I was just looking at him like, really and truly, when I looked at Herbert, not Herbert, but Mario, I was really mostly trying to figure out what the hell he had on, because that whatever that was that he had on, it just was looking very country. And I'm like, I get we in Texas, but you don't have to make them think that we're just country bumpkins, because we're not. But hey, it is what it is. So then we get to the next date, you guys, and the next date consists of Phil and Katarina, right? So again, this whole episode is nothing but non-negotiables. So Phil's non-negotiable is about so he just got out of religion, and so he's become more spiritual. And that's something that you hear a lot these days, is how people have gotten away from religion. And I think more specifically, when people say they've gotten away from religion, I think people have really gotten away from the church, because that's what it is for me too. Like, when it comes down to me, I'm very religious. I believe in the Lord. I just prefer not to go to church, because it's just not suitable for me personally. So I don't get up on Sunday mornings and say, hey, let's go to church. Absolutely not. And so Katarina said the same thing for her, right? So they're both on the same page with that one. So then he asked her about children, and she was telling him, like, she's cool with a man that has kids, right? But she prefers for the man that she's with to have kids that are out of diapers. And I was like, you know what? I don't even blame her for that one, right? Because, and if they're not my kids, I'm so sorry, but I wouldn't want to change someone's child's dirty diaper unless they're my own kids. That may sound mean or rude and whatever, but it is what it is. At least I'm being honest with you guys. So then she said to him that, she feels like if they're still in diapers and the dad is going over to the mom's house and, he putting on cologne and smelling good, then she feels like something might still be going on. And I'm like, well, if he is doing that, absolutely. He is trying to get back with that old thing. He might be dipping and dabbing with that old thing, right? But she is okay with having, she is okay with children. She also doesn't want it to be a situation where there's drama with the mother or the father. And I was like, that's understandable too. So the next date, you guys, we got is Quentin. So Quentin, we finally got another workout date. So Quentin is doing a boxing. He's taking Unique and Kira boxing, right? So I didn't have a huge issue with this. Again, like you guys know, the workout days are not for me. I'm not that fond of them, but it is what it is, right? So he had a conversation with Unique, right? And Unique was asking him at one point, like, do you think that your person could be in this process or outside of this process, right? And my antennas kind of went up a little bit when she said that because I was wondering why did she pose that question in that way? And I wonder if it was more so for her or if it was for him, right? And so she also asked him about co-parenting. I don't know if Quentin has kids or not. I don't know if he has kids or not. Let me know if he does it because I cannot remember if he has kids, right? But with Unique, I was listening to Unique talk, but I think I said this in the first or second episode about Unique. I think she's a beautiful girl, but when it comes down to Unique, I don't think that Unique is 100% healed from her marriage. Now, I don't, we don't know what happened in her marriage, but when I look at Unique, I can definitely see that, she hasn't completely healed herself from her last relationship, and that's fine. I want the best for Unique. I want Unique to just work on herself, focus on her, get to know herself again, and once you've done that, then put yourself back out there. And there's going to be someone out there who's going to scoop Unique up because I think Unique is an amazing person. I think she's beautiful as well. So there's definitely someone out there for her. I just don't think that this process was necessarily for her right away. Kind of like how I felt about Brandon earlier in the season. I feel the same way about Unique and Brandon. I think they both may have jumped into something too soon. And I just think that they need to, reevaluate. So, Kira, Kira, you really got on my nerves. So, Kira sat down with Quentin, right? And so, this is the point where she asked him if he only dates white women. And he was like, if I only dated white women, I wouldn't have come here. Now, gotta poke a little bit of a hole in that one because there are people, and I'm not saying that this is Quentin, but I mean, you can find some people who might just want to be on reality TV and they say, oh, let me go apply for this show. I ain't necessarily trying to be with these women. I'm trying to get some spot. I'm just trying to get some spotlight, some fame, some clout, some followers on Instagram and Twitter, and go from there, right? And I'm not saying that that is what this is with Quentin, but I also thought with Kira asking him if he only dated white women, well, he said no. She said, well, have you ever dated Hispanic women? Why does that concern you? Like, I don't get why that was a concern of Kira's and why that even came up. Like, it really kind of got on my nerves. He kept asking that question: do you date white women? Or do you date Hispanic women? The problem with Kira is like if in the first episode when she said, or the first ladies lounge, when she said that she's close to whiteness, no ma'am, you are not anywhere near close to whiteness. The only thing that you do is you say that you speak proper English. There are a lot of black people who speak proper English, and let me say this one more time: speaking proper English does not bring you any closer to being white. What it is with Kira is the fact that Kira turns on that Valley Girl accent, and that's why she feels like she's close to whiteness because of that stupid ass Valley Girl accent that she uses. Like, ma'am, shut up. God, I don't. I really wanted her to go home, but she skated by, right? So we get to the gentleman's lounge, and I will say with the gentleman's lounge, I noticed. I said it in my video, but I noticed a disconnect when it comes to the gentleman's lounge, right? Because the men switch up who they say they have a connection with each time they're in the gentleman's lounge. It always changes. None of them, because, and I will say in this episode, so of the ladies, one lady in particular whose name I'd never heard anybody say as far as we like her or we know have a connection with her is Sierra. But the thing with Sierra is Sierra goes on hella dates with these men, but none of y'all are saying she's in your like none of y'all are saying, oh, me and Sierra, we got this vibe. Like I feel like what's happening with Sierra is I do feel like the men are putting her toward the background. I think she's getting friend zoned with these men. I honestly do. Because let's see, who do we have left in the women? We have Janelle, we have Unique at this point, we have Lee, we have Kira, and we have Jessica and Sierra. So we have six women. But the names that really came up in the lounge for the women that they liked was Jessica, Janelle, oh, and Katarina. So we heard Katarina, Jessica, Janelle, and Lee. We've heard those four names. Nowhere did they mention Sierra. Mind you, Herbert and Marie have both went on dates with Sierra, but nobody has said Sierra's name. And I just kind of feel a way about that. Like, are y'all just stringing her along? And that's what I really think it is. I think that they're stringing her along for a number. I hate to say it, but I think that that's what's going on. It feels like she's been strung along for a number, right? And then even with the ladies that they did not have a connection with, it was just you heard Unique and you heard Kira. Still didn't hear nothing about Sierra. You heard Sierra's name not mentioned once. So ultimately we get down to the bottom two. So it is Unique and it is Kira, right? So Maria is on a date with Kira. The fact that Kira had to sit here and say she has black cousins, no shit, Sherlock, you're a black woman. I would think you got black cousins, right? You saying you got black cousins is almost equivalent to a racist person saying, "Oh, I have black friends." Go to hell, ma'am. And then Unique, it's so interesting that her connection is with Marvin, and Marvin put her in the bottom. Very odd. And ultimately, it was Unique who went home. I was like, well, you could have done a double in elimination and sent Kira and her white boots home too. But yeah, you guys, that was the episode. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode, and let's go ahead and just talk about the mess that has happened. So the first thing so I'm not gonna pull anything up on my computer because I didn't save all this stuff to my phone and transfer it over. So I'm gonna read the stuff that I can read. So I'll go down the line. So what I'm gonna talk about is the interview that Habibi did with Crystal XO. We'll talk about the drama with Janelle and Katarina, and we'll briefly talk about Marie and the mother of his child. Actually, let's start with that one first. The Marie situation. So the mother of his child, she was on TikTok, right? And so she has this bowl of something that she's eating, right? And it says, watching my baby daddy lie on national television. And she just watching him talk about her on TV, and she's not saying anything. Like she has three different like TikToks videos about him, but she's never said what he lied about, right? So I'm so confused about this situation with Maria and this woman because she's saying he's lying, but she won't say what it is. And somebody in her comment section said, "We need a story time, sis." And I still don't see that this sister has gave a story time. And if she has, you guys, please let me know, because I don't keep up too much with it, but it's just very random that you say he's lying, but you won't say what he's lying about. So, is he lying about the situation with you getting back with your ex? What is he lying about? Like, inquiring minds want to know. Don't do stuff like that. Like, don't do some stuff like that where you're piquing people's interest, but then you don't say anything. Your mum's the word to it. It's like it's not making any sense. So next, you guys, let's start up with this mess with Janelle and Katarina. So you guys remember last week that I told you guys that I saw on Twitter that Janelle had addressed everybody calling her mean about Katarina. So Janelle tweeted last week. She says, What's up, Obi? So Janelle said before y'all start, you said just passing through. Well, I appreciate you for passing through, man. Definitely appreciate you. So Janelle tweeted last Friday. She said, before y'all start, we met Kat outside of the restaurant before walking in and hugs. Don't let editing fool you. So then Kat quote retweeted her and said, nah, sis, I ain't to hear a peep from you. Stop the cap, right? So then Janelle got on her Instagram stories and said, you probably couldn't hear us well at Island Barbie Doll because you were too busy frantic that you couldn't have that heavy filter on with you at the restaurant. Or maybe you were on the phone with one of the three med spas you work for getting fired again. Or maybe, just maybe, that synthetic $10 wig was too tight. I don't know. But we were all nice. You're the cap. Queen Garbage Barbie. You're forever bothered by me. Go get an oil change for your 89 Corolla hoe. I'm sorry, you guys. I do believe Janelle is a mean girl, but this is kind of funny. And she said, stop playing with me. Obi says listening. Well, I appreciate you, Obi, for listening. Shayna says Maria's baby mama should have kept those TikToks to herself. She really should have. I really wish that woman had kept them TikToks to herself because she didn't say anything. And I'm just like, ma'am, what was the purpose in you making these damn TikToks if you're not gonna tell us what he lied about? Like I was so over her and through with her. So Kat came back to Janelle. She said, at Janelle, at me, baby, so I know it's real. That little truther tweet made you big mad. Your insecurities keep shining bright. I'm a nurse, baby. I own a med spa. I don't have to work, and you know that with a laughing emoji, right? Listen, last time I checked, your scamming ass didn't have a car, Ubering around Dallas from date to date. If I were you, I would lay low. Your past is coming for you. The streets are talking love, paid in full. Share a picture of your car, baby boo. Like they went back and forth. This was last Sunday. This was last Sunday, you guys. And I promise you guys, I cracked up laughing. So the next post from Janelle says, what pisses me off about these ridiculous ass, low self esteem ass women is I was nice to them, all of them. This Dusty had no clothes, and I offered to let her borrow things from my collection so she wouldn't look like the ragamuffin she did. Oh my God. Run tell that Island Barbie girl. Oh my God. It was so bad, you guys. And so she got these text messages. It says from Cap. So she's sending her pictures, and the pictures are of some dresses. It says these would be cute on you, right? Honey, that is fire. I love it. And then Janelle's, oh Jesus, it was a mess, you guys. So then at one point, Janelle came back and said, you want to know why I was so over this show? Because they had me on here with prostitutes, more than one. I was like, well, damn. And pseudo pimps that work at DoorDash. And don't let me get started with the men, multiple, that are not sure what their sexual orientation is, but actually do. Boyfriends and all. You want to play with me? You're not gonna like how I play. Now, I did not like that comment about the men who have boyfriends, and I know a lot of people have been speculating, and there's one particular guy that I've been looking at, and I was like, he could swing both directions, but I'm not gonna say that because I don't. That's just not how I operate, and I'm not gonna do that to him. But there is one guy in particular that I do believe maybe a little bit on the buy side. Again, I'm not gonna call his name, but if you guys think you know who I'm talking about, I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments in the live chat too, right? So Cat came back and tweeted. Cat came back with another Instagram story, right? It says at Janelle Langford, LOL, you could never sit at my table, baby. You are insecure as fuck. I gave you 5 minutes. Your next comment needs to be in person. Pull up. Valet. Oh, wait, you don't have a car. I'll tell concierge to let you up. I was like, oh my God. Then she says, I'm not the one, two, or three, baby. You can't sit with me on your best day. Everyone knows You are a scammer from Atlanta trying to be a bad girl, mean girl in your 40s is wild. LOL. Selling shirts with your broke ass. Stop playing with me on Beyonce's internet criminal and go get some legal money. Oh my God, you guys. Like that was a mess. Now, at one point, Janelle. At one point, you guys, Janelle literally pulled up to that woman's apartment complex, and I was like, oh my God, girl, is it that fucking deep? I know she said pull up, but ma'am, it ain't that deep. Also, ma'am, we live in Dallas, Texas. We live in Texas. Texas. This is a open carry state, you guys. That means you can openly carry a GUN. You don't have to have a license or anything. You can just go to your local store, go wherever they sell GUNs, buy one and some bullets, and boom, you got a gun. Like, come on. I was like, no, let's not do this. This is dangerous, right? Um, so that was really all that. It was a lot of stuff, you guys. It was the Mario stuff. It was the Janelle and what's her name, Katarina stuff. And also, you guys, so I have been involved in a little bit of drama with the Ready to Love cast this season too. Some of them have come from me. Some of them's friends have come from me, but I won't give them any light on the channel because it's just not what I'm gonna do. But yeah, one of the girls this season, their friends wanted to fight me behind the comment that I made about they girl, and I'm not gonna fight over somebody that I don't know. So sorry to tell you, I will pow you before I fight you. Just being real with you. So Shayna says there's a guy that I think it may be, but he isn't in Janelle's top, so she didn't need to bring it up. Yes, the guy that I'm thinking, he is not even on Janelle's radar, and I just didn't think that that was cool for her to bring it up. But she says it's multiple men, but I think it's just, for me personally, I think it's just one. And again, I'm not gonna say who I think it is because that's not my place to do. And I think I think it was just very, very disrespectful. Now I have heard people say that the guy that I'm thinking it is did come for Janelle, but even still, if he came for you wherever he came for you at, go that medium, go that route. Like, I just didn't like that. Shannon says, please like the live. Yeah, yes, please like the live for me. Like the live. So you guys, the last thing that we're gonna talk about is this interview that Habibi. Actually, scratch it. We're not going to call that nigga Habibi. We're going to call him by his government name, Travis. So this interview that Travis did with Crystal XO, you guys, I was fuming when I watched that interview with her. So he did the interview with Crystal XO. I honestly, let's backtrack real quick. So I've been hearing everybody say that Habibi is going to Travis is going around trying to charge people $1,000 to do an interview with him, sir. We don't know, again, like I said about Janelle and with Red, babe, I'd rather buy one of Janelle's Mean Girl shirts, and I would rather buy that thought. I would never buy that thought job that sweatshirt. I'd rather buy Janelle's Mean Girl shirt than to give you $1,000 to interview you. It will never happen, right? So he did the interview with Crystal XO. He was at a bar in Houston, right? He talking about, Lil Flip helped him with this. I was like, Lil Flip. Now, granted, I love me some Lil Flip. My cousin used to listen to Lil Flip back in the 90s, and that's how I got on to Flip when he was underground here in Texas. So I rocks with Lil Flip. But Lil Flip is from the 90s and early 2000s, so I'm gonna let that one be, right? So in this interview with Crystal XO, he was very, 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 very rude to her. He, oh my God, I don't even know where to start at. So she was asking him questions. Most of the questions she asked him, either he didn't give a fuck, I don't know, I don't care, I couldn't. This is his words exact. I could care less what people think about me. It's I really want people to stop saying I could care less. I'm gonna give you guys a little history, a little education on that word. It's not I could care less. You do know that could means that you do, right? Or can. Could and can are the same thing. What you mean to say is I couldn't care less, meaning I don't give a damn. So she asked him about the comment about, sucking Janelle's breast, right? And he said he don't know if he said it, but she got some big ass titties. Okay, if she got some big ass titties, what they got to do with you? Like, oh my God, he was so rude. He was so fucking rude. He was talking about the women negatively. He was talking about the women on his show negatively. He was so negative and rude to Crystal XO. I gotta give her kudos upon kudos because she's talked to that fool for 40 fucking minutes. And the she was the consummate professional in that interview. She tried to have intelligent conversation with that fool, but she could not. And I was like, ma'am, you are so better than me because the minute because she asked him at one point, she was like, because when he came on the camera, he had if he had a phone or a laptop, he had it in his hand and he kept moving around and around. And she was like, can you kind of sit down because you're moving around a lot? And so he act like he didn't want to do that. And I was like, why did you even agree to do this interview, sir? She asked him about the casting process, right? And so there's a casting director. Her name is Lala Means, and I've conversed with her via email when I was going out for this season. So, or I don't know if it was going to be this season or if it's the next one that's coming up. But we had actually had a conversation with each other. But he was talking about they just found him on social media. I was like, that's the problem with Ready to Love. I think a lot of these people that y'all find, y'all just go out and recruit these people because he said he didn't watch Ready to Love before, and I'm like, it's evident, it's very evident. And he was also talking about when he went to Dubai, right? He was talking about how he realized how they treated the women and he learned how to treat women. I'm like, did you really learn how to treat women? Because I don't think you know how to treat a woman, right? He's like, yeah, because over there they do this to their women, they do that to their women. I was like, sir, what are you talking about? And at one point, he did even say in the live that that because she asked him about the head guard head thing on his right. She said, "Do you ever take it off?" He said, "Yeah, when I'm fucking." I was like, "Oh God, get this fool off of here!" Right. So he also did say that this is an act. I'm like, sir, I think we all know that that's an act. But at this point, this is a persona. You are culturally appropriating these people's culture, and you're not doing a good job at it, sir. Because he at one point said something to her in Arabic, and she asked him, "What did he say?" He said something to her. Then he had a shirt on, so he turned around to the back and he asked her to read the back. She said, "Habibi, I can't." Travis, let me call him. Let me stop calling this fool Habibi. Travis. She said, "I can't read it." Now he was. I think he didn't do a good reason like he asked her to read his shirt. He didn't say look at the letters. He said read it because I knew what he meant when he said what do you see on the back of my shirt. She was saying, Habibi, I don't know how to Travis. I don't know how to read Arabic, right? And so he was like, the letters, woman. I was like, oh, he is so rude. I knew what he meant. He was asking her, do you see the X and the O? It was an X and an O on his back. He was just the most disrespectful person like around. Oh God, Habibi can go straight to hell. Like that man, Travis. His name is Travis, not Habibi. Travis can go to hell. I was frustrated sitting there watching that interview yesterday because I wanted to watch before I came on here today, but I was frustrated for Crystal, and I was like, you are the consummate professional. Because if it were me doing an interview with that nut job, I would have easily hung it up the minute he came on camera because he just he just did not seem enthused. He did not seem interested in having any kind of conversation with that woman. And like I said, kudos to Crystal. Kudos to her. I think she did an interview last night with Marvin. So guys, go check her out. But yeah, you guys, that was Ready to Love, the episode and the drama that has happened this past week. Whew, it was a lot, you guys. But let me know what you guys thought. If you guys kept up with it, please let me know if I missed anything, which I think I got everything. We talked about the situation with Mario and the mother of his child, which, like I said, I still am very confused about that situation because the mother of his child said that he was lying, but she never said what he particularly lied about. So unless she does a story time, I have no idea what the hell he lied about, right? Then we talked about the drama between Janelle and Katarina. Janelle, my love, please don't ever pull up to nobody's apartment or house trying to fight them unless you're ready. I mean, because, ma'am, once again, we live in a open carry state. Open carry. I'm going to say that one more time. Open carry, and you don't have to have a license to carry a GUN. And then Travis, go straight to hell. Go straight to the pits of hell. Shanna says, I can't believe Travis has supporters. Wait a minute, he got supporters? Child, they must be some pygmies. They gotta be pygmies if they support that foolishness and that bullshit. Well, you know what Tequila did, and I know a lot of people are talking on social media about the fact that Tequila had came for people. I've said things about Tequila, and actually Tequila found me on Twitter, and she didn't say nothing negative to me. So maybe it was just y'all. Maybe it was just y'all. The only person who's really having is been two people that I've had some run-ins with, but that's neither here nor there. I don't know these people personally, so I don't take anything that they say personally. And like I've always said in my lives and in my videos, don't take anything I say personally. I'm only going off of what I can see on an edited show. Oh, one more thing I want to try to point out. Crystal, she tried to give Travis an opportunity to clear up any misconceptions about him. He didn't want to do it. I'm like, ma'am, he don't want to clear nothing up. He don't feel like editing did him bad or not. He did talk about, the fact that they didn't show a date that he had with, I believe it was Unique. They didn't show that date. I'm glad they didn't, because there's nothing nice about you. Don't see it for you. I don't like you. But that's it, you guys. This was a lot. I didn't expect to go almost an hour, but hey, it is what it is. I like coming on here going live. But also, you guys, please be sure to like the live, you guys. Share it for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I will catch you guys later on this afternoon for another live where we will be discussing the latest episode of Love During Life, you guys. So as always, you guys, please stay safe out there. You guys take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. Stay hydrated, you guys, because it's still hot as hell out there. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. And also, you guys, please be sure to go and join Shayna's live tonight when she talks about Ready to Love. I will have it in my community tab for you guys, but please go support Shayna. If you guys are not subscribed to her channel, please go subscribe to Shayna's channel. This is Shayna right here. Go subscribe to her. Go show us some love. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.